Ethan Sachs and Ramon Bucks explore Valance's new life as the cyborg is forced into the service of Darth Vader, who intends on using the former bounty hunter to cleanse the Imperial Navy of any and all Crimson Dawn spies. Ethan Sachs begins Valance's new journey as the character returns to his Imperial roots in the service of Darth Vader. I'm really excited to see Valance's story continue here, since for a moment back in the War of the Bounty Hunters, it looked like they were getting ready to kill him, especially since they teased that he had a heart condition and using his cybernetics were overpowering that and killing him, so I thought they were definitely getting ready to kill him off, and kind of in a way they did, seeing as that every other character thinks he's dead except for Darth Vader, who was the one to repair him, so they kind of had their cake and ate it as well there. Not only all of that, but the character's suffering continues as he is forced back into the service of the Empire, the people that turned him into the cyborg he is now, before just casting him off with the trash. Along with Valance returning to the Empire, which of course brings its own troubles for him, being that what they did to him was wrong. We also get his past explored a little bit more, and we see the man who inspired him to join the Empire, and learning, like always, it's never a good idea to meet your heroes, since the guy turned out to be not what the young Valance thought he was, and could arguably be the one to blame for how he turned out. It's a thoroughly interesting road to take the character down, and I'm all for it. Ramon Bucks taps in as the series artist with some really great looking character focused sequences that go all over Valance's history, pulling from past sequences from this book in earlier issues, as well as things we've seen of Valance in the Han Solo Cadet series from a few years ago, all to help tell the character's emotional and pretty traumatic journey. Star Wars Bounty Hunters issue 18 was a fantastic new beginning to Valance's next mission, exploring more of the cyborg's past and tying it into the current Crimson Dawn storyline quite flawlessly. I'm gonna give this issue a 9 out of 10. Star Wars Bounty Hunters issue 18 heads to the past to the planet Corran, where the people celebrate the Empire with a parade. A young Valance stumbles out of the crowd, falling in front of some troopers. A trooper tries to move him out of the way as the commander comes to see the young boy, reminding the trooper this child is who they are fighting for. He offers him a ration bar as Valance says that he knows the man is Captain Sokolai, the hero who freed his planet from the pirates. Sokolai says that he's no hero, just a servant of the Empire doing a small part to bring order to the galaxy. As the fireworks explode above, Sokolai remembers how not long ago he was a boy on a planet plagued by cruelty, and one day maybe the boy will fly an Imperial ship into battle and rescue others like he rescued him. Valance knows that his father thinks he'll be working in the mine like he did, but Sokolai tells him there's more to the galaxy than the mines of Corran. The bright-eyed young Valance really hopes he can fight for the Empire one day, as in the present on the Executor, the beaten down Valance wonders if he could really fight for the Empire after everything it's done to him. Darth Vader knows that he has restored Valance and given him a second chance to achieve his childhood dream in service of the Empire. Valance demands how he knows about that, saying he'll never give his heart to the Empire. He soon realizes his heartbeat is gone, as it's revealed that Vader has had his heart removed, storing it in a nearby stasis tank. Vader says that he died on the operating table thanks to his human heart giving out, forcing them to replace it with a more efficient cybernetic one. Valance is upset, knowing that his heart was one of the final pieces of him that was still truly human, asking what he is now. Vader throws him with the Force, telling him that he is alive and of some use to him, thinking he should be grateful that he at least looks human now and all his parts have been upgraded. Valance wants to test that out, activating his palm blaster and firing it at Vader, but the Sith Lord blocks it with his own palm, igniting his lightsaber and redirecting another bolt back into Valance's arm, before cutting him in two. He leaves, telling the medical droids to put him back together, wanting to continue their conversation later. On Burnin Con, Tonga and Losha drown their sorrows away after watching Valance die, knowing with him gone there is really no chance to find Cadlia. Tonga knows they will find a way, and they better, since the crew is getting restless, with only the Nexu not bothered by the setback. Losha has a new plan, but the crew need to blow off some steam, and as if on cue, a group of Karakan forces arrive, trying to rob the cantina. Tonga can't stop smiling as she hits one in the face, knowing their timing is perfect as Tasu Leech leaps across the table, glad to finally stab something. On the Executor, Valance is repaired fully as Vader returns, growing impatient with the cyborg. Lieutenant Hayden tells Valance that he should be thankful Vader spared him, but Valance fights against his restraints, knowing that he won't work for him for all the credits in the galaxy. Vader tells him there'll be no payment for his service this time, showing him a hologram of Kira, telling Valance that Crimson Dawn has revealed itself to be a threat to the Empire and they have moles throughout the Imperial Navy. Valance wonders if he is expected to be be an assassin for Vader, knowing that he will have to decline the offer since the last time he was asked to serve the Empire, he was turned into a cyborg and tossed away like garbage. Vader knows that he didn't always feel that way, showing Valance one of his own memories of Sokolai as the Lieutenant Hayden plugs cords into Valance's head, telling him that they are cerebral processes that keep what is left of his human brain functioning, and it's been converting his brainwaves into computer data, which means they can read all his secrets. Hayden reveals that they know much about Valance's history with the Empire and how he dreamt about sharing the stars with Jura before joining the Navy, and being wounded and left behind by his cadet squad before joining up with the infantry, where again he was blown up and put back together by the Empire. She also knows that after he left the Empire, he became a bounty hunter, joining a band of misfits as he turned away from everyone else he loved in fear they would see him for what he sees himself as something less than human. Vader stops the trip down memory lane, telling Valance that they also took the coordinates of the rebel base where Yura and Catalia are hiding out at, and if Valance serves him, they will not bomb the base into oblivion. Tonga meanwhile battles the enforcers in the cantina, hoping her crew will join in soon, but Zucker says he isn't sure if he should since Tonga looked to be working through some personal issues. He knows all about those issues, having gone through themselves after 4 LOM tried to murder him. Bosk doesn't want to get into a fight since his legs are still regrowing as one of the enforcers is tossed into his table, causing him to spill his drink. Despite missing his legs, Bosk jumps onto the bug being, knowing that he will pay for that by cutting his head off. Tasu gets cutting up the bugmen as well, hoping that Bosk saves some for the rest of them as the enforcers retreat, only to be eaten by the Nexu outside. Losha jumps onto an enforcer's back, but he manages to smash her against the wall. Tonga goes to help, but Zucker stops her, knowing she can't fight her crew's battles since the others will lose respect for her if they do. Tasu gives Losha some tips about how to cut the Karak's throat, allowing her to end their fight as Bosk finds the woman quite impressive. Losha notices Tonga isn't happy with her, so the woman tells her wife that this isn't the life she wanted for her, and it's why she wanted to retire and live on the farm. Losha knows that she's had a taste of this life now, and so why would she ever go back to the boring farm? On the Executor, Valance agrees to join Vader as Lieutenant Hayden leads him to a hangar, telling him the Empire is bigger than all of them. Valance meets with Ochi of Bestoon, who knows he's the cyborg in charge of Dark Squadron. Hayden says that Ochi is Valance's boss as the assassin reveals the mission is simple. They have to board an Imperial cruiser mid-flight, find the target and kill them. Valance asks who the target is, learning it's a war hero who was recruited to Crimson Dawn, and he is shown a hologram of General Tal Sokolai, the so-called spine dragon of Anaxis.